And if they make one mistake, then boom, their career is over. There's no way they can recover. They have been officially canceled. All the creators' fans no longer show respect to them and see them as the amalgamation of evil itself. What sucks about this is how it could happen to anyone who is getting themselves out there in the internet, including me. No one is safe. No one is safe. No one is safe.
So I was planning on making a video talking about a cool ARG I found for later this month, but recently a bunch of stuff came out regarding a content creator that I look up to, that's someone that I watch. I'll be formatting this the same way as the ICE video. I'll be going over the basic allegations along with getting everybody up to speed. This is Sillyrally, a YouTuber from the cartoon community with this amount of subscribers of the making of this video, as he generally makes videos discussing whatever, usually related to cartoons or any piece of media for that matter. This is a creator that was well respected by fans and peers. Hell, I was even a fan as well, enjoying some of his content that he put out. Back in December of 2021, there were allegations that came out discussing the actions he's done to a victim, as the claims were stating that he groomed, manipulated, and gaslit her.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
While I couldn't find the original allegations that came from December 2021. Whoops, did I end up saying that? My bad. As it turns out, I did find original screenshots of it, but they're not in the best quality. Even then, I'd heavily recommend this video by this person right here. I'll be linking in the description, and I'll also be playing the clip that mentions this.
On December 18th of 2021, Riley would make a post on his Twitter account. It was a simple side-by-side comparison of his present self with a past self. However, if you would scroll down the comments of this post just the slightest bit, you'd be greeted with a thread posted by Moneybag Joe. Joe, as I'll call him for short, is the boyfriend of the victim of this whole situation, Julie. In his comment, he included 2 screenshots of a Discord conversation shared between Riley and Julie. The conversation took place on January 27th of 2020. In this post, we can see some messages being exchanged between the two. A groundbreaking revelation, I know. Joe also went and decided to include the allegation of him being a groomer in this reply alongside the 2 screenshots, so that's where the initial allegation came from. However, the contents of these messages show a lot of back and forth in the form of romantic exchanges, and if for whatever reason saying heart and spamming heart emojis isn't a clear indicator of this fact, he straight up calls her babe. I think that kind of proves my point. Now, at first glance, this may not appear so bad. The accusation of him being a groomer could easily be an allegation made up against him with no real proof to back it up. We've seen it happen before. However, if we dig a little deeper into this situation, we come to an interesting realization.
I did end up finding the victim's second response, basically an aftermath situation of what's been happening. She made a long post, or tweets, and a twit longer. I'll be narrating these word for word. This whole situation is absurd. It took a considerable amount of confidence to even talk about this disdainful situation. It is not like I just made this up or decided to bring this up on a whim. It is a serious issue, a federal crime. I cannot understand where any of this would be constructed as correct in any way. It is on the cusp of being a crime that would land him in jail for nearly 10 years. The law states that an adult is trying to gain trust and create a deep emotional connection with a minor via good deeds or slow manipulation of emotions, and such is considered grooming. This being 100% of the situation at hand, we started talking when he was 17 and I was at the transitional and very emotional age of 13. We know each other through family friends, and so we had already built a family-like connection. So being only 13 and having my emotions swirling as it was, I was taken aback when I thought I felt a deeper emotional connection since I was much younger than him and our closest as it was. Eventually I told him about my feelings being, and he agreed that there was more to our relationship than just a family feeling. We began this relationship shortly after admitting our feelings for each other, and as soon enough I turned 14 and he turned 18, which made him legally an adult. He even stated that it was wrong and that he wanted to wait for me and persuaded me to think that it was right and that I actually love him, and that I should wait for him until I turned 16, which is the age of consent in Florida by the Romeo and Juliet law. This did not stop him, and he continued with the sexual advances while he was on a video call, gestured to his groin, and seemingly had an erection. He had shorts on it, so it was not nude. It was not large, but it was still very jarring and almost scary because that had not something I had ever been exposed to before. Goofy or not, it is still sexual, not something that a minor should be witnessing. End of story. My parents knew that we were friends, but almost had absolutely no idea about the very sexual advances he was making towards me. And this whole situation was leading towards a hold on, give me a second.
Volatility.
That's how you say it? Okay. A volatility I was not prepared for. There was even a time he invited me over to quote-unquote watch movies, when in reality he wanted to cuddle and took me to the backyard, and we laid in a very small chair. We were pressed up against each other and exceedingly close in all senses of the matter. Then at a later date he went on to say, I'm not reading this. I'm putting this on the screen so y'all can see this, but I'm not reading this part. And it was obviously several steps too far. At the point I was 14 and he was 18. And my parents were unaware of the advances made, making it even worse for him and more confusing and scarier for me. On a day-to-day basis before he went to sleep, he would say goodnight, Princess, which gave me a very nervous and anxious feeling inside that I could not really describe. It was like I needed to throw up, but I also felt like it was normal and cute that this older man called me his princess and treated me this way, and that he genuinely liked me for me. I was scared that if I told an adult I would be judged, or that he would begin to get violent, or the other million other things that he could do to me. Especially because he was older than me and the adults would listen to the grown man over a younger teenager, which meant he could tell them anything he wanted and they would listen. All the while I was hurting and broken inside. Little did they know his hormones were beginning to take control, and this has made very confusing times for myself, and randomly without the reason he left me high and dry with my feelings scrambled and flying around my head at 1,000,000 miles an hour. This took nearly 8 months for me to feel like I had gotten over him, and that I was not fixed on the future we could have had and spent together. Then these years had passed. I could still remember how he held me and he spoke to me on those nights. It gave me shivers. I would see movies and see different narratives of these women that also got groomed, and I began to see a great similarity between our situations. And this was worrying, since I did not even know how severe this manipulation even was, and it got to the point where saying I love you and such was a normal thing, and hearing that coming from a role model type of person was especially scarring. This led me to feel as if I needed to come out to the story and tell my friends and followers that this was a horrible act that others needed to be wary of, and that they need to watch out for, and give others the voice I could not find. It hurts me so much that people like this even exist, that it continues. I really wish that he realizes his wrongdoings, that he could be held accountable for his actions. When I had finally come out with this heartbreaking story, I was met with him gaslighting me and trying to make me change my story and saying that I was wrong, and even went to say that he did nothing wrong, trying to justify it. Then soon thereafter, he made a response tweet about the incident and garnered much support from his friends and family that did not think that he was in the wrong, which only further proves my point that clearly someone would believe that the grown man over the young teenager. It is gross to even think a young person would try to ruin a peer's life for no reason. This being said, I want to formally come out and say that this man did in fact groom me, and this is not a joke. I have been genuinely scarred and hurt by his actions, and that in no way are any of these instances legal or okay, and I hope that eventually something will come from this and the other attempts of reaching out for help during these times. And to add, I am not sorry. This is a very serious incident where a child was hurt, and this is something that has not been dealt with, and this is something that has to be dealt with, or it will get worse and worse and could even happen again, and the cycle of terror present, and the world will never stop. More will be hurt, more will be assaulted, and more will be abused, all because we did not speak out and tell the proper people. Thank you for your time, and have a great happy holidays. While I can't find more tweets regarding the situation, it seems the reaction to this was really negative, as just from the replies alone it seems like people were calling her a clout chaser, and possibly even victim blame, which is incredibly gross from the way the story was twisted, even though she wouldn't benefit from this in any way. As Sillyrally posted his response to the tweet longer, he changed up a lot of the story that doesn't match up from within this document alone. To summarize, he basically said that he showed mutual interest from each other when they started dating back in December of 2019 to March of 2020, saying how there was no sexual advances involved at all, but ended up shifting the blame to the victim here, saying that he was actually getting sexually harassed after he turned 18. The twitlonger is actually very convincing from his perspective, but there's one point that ruins his entire argument. He admitted to sexting her, but for some reason tries to shift it back, saying that they were fine with it, even though it's 18 to 14, which isn't exactly proving his case or helping him in the slightest bit. And going back to one of the messages I said earlier, he tries to clarify something that's sexual and tries to downplay it to being goofy. Okay. Again, the twitlonger is really, really convincing from his side. Too bad there's a lot of evidence that disproves this entire twitlonger. It wasn't until January 21st, 2022, when a second twitlonger was put up by the victim. I'll be reading this one in its entirety as well. This topic has already been discussed and almost completely ignored. Not only that, but I even got victim shame from his associates, himself, and several others. These actions were actually disgusting, and he even lied and construed details to make himself look better, and it only emphasizes how wrong he really is. He has admitted to sexting me and that has having a romantic relationship with me, and that I need to wait for him until I am 16 so we can be together. Like, if this is not considered grooming, I don't know what is. He admitted and even spoke out about how he knew what he was doing was wrong, but rather than admit it to the public and take responsibility for his actions, he has since decided to make some of this back and is only admitting to what little he can without sounding suspicious. It is absurd to think even for a minute that this grown man never did anything wrong, as even now I'm only 16 years of age, and even now it would be on the edge of legal. This being true expresses how wrong he really is. His friends have come to me and trash talked me and spoken abhorrently to me in the past, calling me a liar about the sexting, even though he has since admitted to it. So the story has been even further construed. He has had people text my current significant other, and that obviously fell flat because I have not done anything wrong. I was 13 to 14 while he was 17 to 18 with only a month between our birthdays on a calendar year. I do not care how long ago this was. That word is that word. Murder is still murder, and that is still grooming. No matter how many times you try to cover it up, the fact that it happened is still important, and hope others become aware that this happens all too often, especially from family friends like in my situation. Please be diligent to everyone. Good luck, and God bless. This situation was later forgotten about until a month later. On January 26, 2022, a bunch of smaller people reached out to the victim. In a description, I'll end up leaving a Google Drive that has a bunch of evidence that disproves everything that Sillyrally has said. Going over the Google Drive, it's basically a bunch of text conversations and a couple of videos.
Your face makes me want to just stay. God damn it. Stop it. Stop it. Get some help. I have to leave. Fuck you for looking so beautiful. Stop it. Stop it.
And the most damning evidence of all, a 12-minute video of Chris gaslighting on a phone call. I will play this video in its entirety. I'll leave a warning here since this is really, really disturbing, so please skip ahead, pause the video, click off, because the call gets really disturbing.
Hello.
Hello?
You got a problem?
I got a problem?
Yes. You fucking with the
You call my
wrong
phone.
person. I know you fucking with the wrong person. I don't play.
I don't know who you are.
You probably don't, but I know who you are.
Alright.
You fucking with the wrong
okay.
person. You fucking with the
So do you
wrong
mind,
person.
do you mind if you can tell me who you are?
Why does it matter?
Why does it matter? Because you called my phone.
I know. I called you phone. Because you fucked with Julie.
Yeah.
Don't fuck
so,
with
like,
my friends.
So give me your actual name.
What does it matter?
So tell me who you are.
My name's Tiffany.
Tiffany?
Do you have a problem? Like I said again, do you have a problem?
You talk a lot of shit for a nigga named Tiffany.
Are you white?
Are you white?
No. My parents are both very black, and they both named me Tiffany. Do you have a motherfucking
Okay, well
problem?
damn. Well then.
Don't say nigga, because you're going to have two problems instead of
I
one.
know where I come from.
You're going to have two problems instead of one. The first thing is, don't fuck with a 14-year-old, don't leave her on.
Anyways, Tiffany, how'd you get my number?
I have my plugs.
What the fuck is your plug?
You should know for a person saying nigga.
What the fuck is your plug?
Talk about how he let me on. Why did you lead her on? I just want to know like two things. This is why I called you.
Who's leader on? Who's her? Who the fuck are you talking
Julie, I told you on the
about? Are you
voicemail.
fucking goddamn serious?
I'm
Why the
being
fuck are y'all
so
bringing me up something that I
goddamn
don't want to
serious.
fucking bring up at the beginning?
Cause she's fucking
Can y'all
depressed.
niggas get the fuck out of my life?
Niggas.
Y'all niggas is kids.
Okay, so why? If it was a kid,
You fucking child.
if it was a kid, I'm about as old as you are. If it was a
Man, shut the fuck up. Oh my god.
if it was a kid, why were you fucking with her in the first place?
Damn, you sound like a fucking toddler.
If it was a kid, why were you fucking with her in the first place? That's the that's the point. You were trying to. You were trying to. You were, cause why the fuck is she crying? That's my question. Why the fuck you got this girl
So
crying?
anyways, why are you jumping into conclusions?
I'm not. I'm jumping to what the fuck she told
How the
me.
fuck do you know this in the first place?
Cause this my best friend. You gonna try? Don't fuck with my friends,
you
bro.
got plug, huh?
Don't-
Cause you got plug.
Okay, obviously I got the phone number out of her
Your
fucking
plug is
phone.
fucking talking literally nothing but lies.
I don't know how.
All right.
Well, I see it.
How about
I
you
saw the
take the fuck
messages.
yourself, all right?
Well, you're gonna have to, because now you don't got Julie.
Fuck out of here. You fucking boring ass fucking
I
nigga.
hope you get a life and get someone your age and don't lead them on.
I do have a life. I'm
You
actually
do?
successful.
Wow. So why are you fucking with a 14-year-old?
Yeah, I live a nice life, nice house, nice family.
Just
What you
say
got?
like, oh, so
Okay.
all you do is lead people on.
Well, for a person that has all that stuff, you sure do like to lead people
You got
on.
a fucking plug.
I do have multiple plugs. The
Don't
plug is the
fucking
person you was
bother
trying
my
to
fucking
fuck
life,
with.
Alright?
Huh?
Don't fucking bother my fucking life, alright?
I wasn't bothering your life. You bothered mine. So I'm gonna retaliate,
What are you
obviously.
talking about? You call my fucking phone.
Yes,
That makes
because I
no
have a
sense.
problem. Why are you still, you just entertaining it
Oh
still.
my phone.
You still entertaining it. Well, you know I'm right. You know I'm right. You fuck with the wrong
No,
motherfucker.
I'm not. No,
You
I'm
just
not.
fuck- you lucky I don't got your
You're
address
literally wrong. You're objectively wrong.
How am I
You
objectively
call
wrong?
my
sir?
phone. You ask
Enlighten
for the
me.
attention.
Please enlighten me on how as I'm wrong. Please tell me.
You
Please.
have literally.
No, I know.
I got plugs.
Why
and
were you-
literally jer-
Okay, but why?
jumping to
No, listen
conclusions.
to me for 1 second. Why were you talking
Exactly.
to a 14-year-old to begin with if we're toddlers?
Because I knew that person way long.
How long?
How long? I don't know. Probably 2, 3, 4 years, probably.
You like you care about her enough to lead her on.
You care about her enough to lead her on?
Do I care?
Even
enough
if
to lead her
you
on?
even if you didn't do it on purpose, you still did it, and you're still affecting someone. And she's really crying over this. I've been to her house.
Okay. Now answer me this.
I'm answering.
Now answer me this.
Okay.
Why the fuck does it matter?
Cause she's
Why the fuck
crying.
does it matter?
A 14-year-old is crying about this. You don't care about it. Like you don't.
Okay. Do I give a fuck?
You don't have to give a
Do I give
fuck.
a fuck?
You don't have to give. I'm just letting you
Then
know I
why
got a
the
problem
fuck
with
are they-
it.
Why the fuck do they care about me in the first place?
Because she
They're
thought
fucking
you were a
stupid.
good
They should be smart
person.
about it. They should be
Because
fucking
you
thinking for
told
their
her
own
that
self.
you love
Not what others fucking.
Okay, but since
bro.
they're 14,
Like,
14-year-olds
what the
can't think. You're how old are you? How old are you?
I'm fucking 18.
He literally told me that he loved me. Tell him that.
You shouldn't be
So
fucking
why did you tell her you
in the
loved
first
her?
place. I got fucking things to do.
Why did you tell? Okay, but you got things to do, but you been on the phone for about 5 minutes. Like you still entertaining it. But you have a hang up button, don't you?
Yeah, I got a hang up button.
Shit.
But you
Like,
have
you
a
told her
mind
you
your own
loved
goddamn
her.
fucking business, buddy.
You told her you loved her, and she
No, I
believed it. Well, I saw the messages. So who texted that?
You saw the message, bro. Again, when it comes to literally your fucking old source or your plug, it's fucking
Bro.
lies.
The plug is Julie.
I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. Well, tell fucking Julie.
She's right here if you want to tell her yourself. But why is
You're
she?
starting beef for fucking nothing.
I'm not even trying to start beef, but if you fuck with my friends, you gotta
Why
get
would you
this.
call my phone?
Cause I have a problem with you.
There's no problem. I'm literally. I swear to
Well,
myself, I'm
the
just
problem right
fucking
now, this is the problem. You got my friend over here crying. So maybe you just don't feel bad, don't you? You really just don't feel
I
bad and making
don't. I
someone
don't.
cry.
Because why are you trying to start beef?
Maybe you shouldn't tell her you love her and lead her on.
Yeah. Maybe you shouldn't have told her that you loved her. Cause she believed it since she's
Why
14.
would I need to tell her that?
You already did. That's the problem. You don't love her, but
No,
you
I
told her.
didn't. No,
But I
didn't.
saw it. I saw it. The message is saying, "I love you, Julie." Like that's not necessary if you don't love someone.
I don't.
Well, maybe you should have said that.
Anyways, literally, again, why are you bothering me with this? This is
Because I have a problem. This is my friend, and you made my friend cry. When she fuck with that, you gonna be fucking with
How
me
long do you know this person?
for a long fucking time.
A long fucking time.
Since
What's
she was a
long
little
fucking
baby.
time, man?
About 4 years.
4 years?
I'm friends with her sister. Okay, so I love her. Since you knew her for 4 years, you should love her too. As a
That's
friend,
great,
if you
that's
love,
great, that's
if
great,
you
that's
love her,
respectable, that's great,
okay.
that's respectable.
If you love her as
But
a friend, you need to
understand-
clarify
you need to
that.
understand that literally all this is outdated and shouldn't be affecting my life.
Okay, but listen to this. She's 14.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to be calm with you. I'm not trying to have no.
Bro,
I'm not trying to have no
If she's 14, you gotta tell her to fuck off.
She's
She needs
14.
to be smart about herself.
How old was
can't
she
be
when you
doing
talked to her? She was 13 when you talked to
If
her.
you're gonna say she's 14,
She
right?
was 13.
Why aren't you going after
That's a
that
little
person
fucking
instead
girl.
of-
Cause you're a grown ass
You're
man
not
trying to talk to a little girl later on. That's my problem. Are you hearing what I'm saying? You are a grown ass man trying to lead on this 14-year-old girl. I got a problem with
No, I
that.
wasn't.
You
No,
were.
You're saying that I'm leading on to her.
You were. I'm saying facts. Whatever she's telling me is the fucking truth. I don't care if she tell me the sky is purple. I'm gonna believe it.
To begin with.
And literally before they
You're literally delusional. I'm not even talking to this
We
person
dirty
to begin
talk.
with.
We literally.
Okay, I have another question. I also saw messages where you was
No.
you was
Are
talking a
just
little
gonna
nasty to
literally
a
not accept the
13-year-old.
fact that you are literally being delusional. And
Literally
I told you that I'm
being
not even talking to
delusional.
this person anymore.
You sound like a little. I don't even know why you're talking to me.
Bro, shut the fuck up. You
Be like, why did you dirty? Just be like, why did you
dirty?
dirty talk her then?
You know what? You a grown ass man. Go live your life.
Exactly.
Leave
Shut the fuck up.
leave
Shut the
leave
fuck down,
underage
fucking
people
ugly
out of
ass
it.
bitch.
You don't even know what I look like, and I
Shut the
bet
fuck
you I
down.
look good.
Trying to fucking start beef over some old ass.
I'll
shit.
keep it going too. I'll keep it going. I got so much to say. I don't even care if she
You got
tell me
so
the
much to
sky's
say.
orange. I'm
You
gonna
got
believe
so
the
much
sky
to-
is gonna be
literally, her
orange.
nigga named Tiffany.
I hope you don't ever talk to a 13-year-old girl again.
Why would I want to talk to a 13-year-old
Motherfucker.
girl?
Cause you did. You did.
Cause I did, cause I fucking knew this person way before you did.
But you were talking to her like you was trying to be in a relationship with her, but you weren't. You didn't mean anything. When you tell,
y'all
when you,
fucking saying it isn't a
That was
relationship.
literally like.
It was never any relationship.
it doesn't have to be a
Crazy.
relationship. You talking to her like you trying to get one, but then you go switch up with her and be like, nah, I
But
don't
who
want
said
that.
I was in a relationship?
No one. You were just trying to get with her in it.
it.
You were talking to her like you wanted
Be
it.
like, so you want to lead people on?
Because I'm saying I love you, does that fucking mean I'm asking for a relationship?
Basically,
If I tell my
if you
brother,
tell
if I
her,
tell my brother I
you
love
like,
you,
is she
does
your
that
brother or
mean
your
I'm
sister
asking
or your
for-
family member whatsoever? If
That
someone
makes
tells
no
me,
damn
if
sense.
someone
That makes
someone
no sense.
tells me that they
You are
love me
pushing
and
a
they're the
narrative.
opposite
You are
sex,
pushing a narrative.
what the fuck does that even
Be like,
mean?
you literally told her you were gonna ask her out when she was 16.
You literally told
fuck out
her
of my
she
life.
was you were
Please
gonna
fuck out
ask
of
her
my life.
out. After
Please
this, let me
fuck out
get
of my
this
life.
one more point out there, and I hope this
out of my
makes you
life.
think about what the hell you did.
Fuck
You
out
told
of my
her
life.
you were gonna date her when she turned
No,
16.
I wasn't.
But you a lie.
Hmm?
You a lie. You lying. Cause
I am?
yes, she told me that you said you would get with
am.
her when she turned 16.
You know what? Alright.
Did
I'm
you
just
mean
gonna say yes to everything you say just to literally fuck off, alright?
Okay.
Alright.
Alright, so you were lying when you said that.
Huh?
You were lying when you said that.
So what? Why are you calling me? Why are you bothering me? Why aren't you talking to me? Why you gotta bring your friends over? Huh?
Bro, just stop being a
Why you
fucking
trying to
bitch.
start something?
I hope you get your life straight,
No, no,
man.
no,
Cause
no,
you
no,
treating
bring it back,
you
bring it back,
you
bring it
treating
back.
no. Cause I'm really about to get real pissed off. I'm about to get okay. She about to
Bring
talk
it
to you.
back.
Don't be a
You
dick
bring
with
it
it, cause
back.
I will get your fucking address and I will fuck you
How the
up.
fuck am I being a dick?
You're a fucking asshole for leading me on.
The attention.
You're a fucking asshole.
Do you hear her crying over this? You really think I get pissed off at you while you're crying?
Okay?
Yes, we
I hope you get a life.
Okay?
You're saying you said I love you, and you're not even acting like you give a shit. Like, do you have anything to say? She heard all that. You saying
I
that you
didn't
don't
hear you. What
care.
did you say? I didn't hear you. Hello?
Hello, hold on. Okay, so this is my problem. You hear this girl crying, you must have no motherfucking heart if you can't even feel a little bit bad about that. Like, you don't even feel a little bit. Like, you really need to think before you say something.
I don't feel a bit. I don't feel any remorse. You know why?
Why?
Because she needs to learn how to fucking grow up.
Bro,
You need to learn how to fucking not lead people on, you bitch.
and to grow up. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Now,
You need to learn how to treat a woman because you let her on. You said I love you. You said you cared. You don't act like you fucking
it shows that
asshole.
you got a problem and I don't got a problem. Now it shows it. Julie, you need to grow the fuck up, alright? Fuck out
You
of my
grow the
life.
fuck up.
You too, you fucking black ass chick.
Oh, hell no. I'm about to call him
Okay,
back.
Julie, see, he's a fucking asshole. I told you.
Yeah, that certainly revealed a lot. Another thing I want to point out is that you can distinctly hear his voice in the FaceTime calls. You can distinctly hear his voice in the phone call and the FaceTime call I shown earlier. Around the same time that the video was posted of the victim having a conversation with Chris, where he again proceeds to downplay his actions he caused and says his apologies when it's already too late. The way Chris handled this was awful. From downplaying his actions and manipulating and trying to misconstrue the argument in his favor, he later posted his second and last response in the situation on January 26th, 2022. I'll be narrating this one here word for word. A lot of things will be discussed here on this tweet longer. I want to stress that people did not go after or harass anyone involved with the situation. I have been accused of direct harassment to the victim, but I never did anything remotely close to that in the first place. For context, the victim involved posted a tweet longer, responded to my tweet longer addressing the allegations. I will be addressing that step by step. For one, they accused the community of completely ignoring the topic and acting as if I and my peers did not hold my actions accountable. They did. I publicly admitted to being in the wrong and will continue to. I admit to sexting this girl I did in the original tweet longer. This isn't me trying to duck any criticism or save my ass. I owned up to it and I'm sorry. As for the allegation of grooming, I have and will continue to state that that is a not fact situation. This is the definition that the victim and the people surrounding the victim are using. This does not describe the situation. First, the connection I established with this person was while we were both minors. I also established a connection with their family as well while I was a minor. For me, at the time of this reinforced idea that this was okay, and at the time we were just friends, and I come to know it was not okay back then as well. Back then in specifics being when I ended the relationship, when I said that we should wait when they turned 16 to date, it was because I thought it would be okay to actually date once they were older, but I realized it didn't matter as the age gap made it inappropriate in the first place. I'm gonna interject here and say this is really bad, because if you realize a 13 to 14-year-old is a middle schooler, pushing 8th grade basically, and you're over here being 18, which is basically a junior or a senior. Even that if he did date her when he was 16, he would end up being 20 or 21, which is even worse. Because at the very least 14 and 18 you're at least going to the same school together. Even then it's still really pushing it. This was bad and an inappropriate thing to say, and I had to learn that. As at the time I thought it was fine. As for the grooming accusation, a big part of the definition implies that I had an intention of dating this person, specifically because they were a minor, and specifically for the objective of things to get sexual. This is not the case. I was interested in the person because of who they were, not how old they were. I met this person when I was a minor, although things turned sexual after the halfway point of our entire relationship. That was never the intention from the start. To claim that this was a malicious attempt to manipulate a young person sexually and emotionally is not true. However, this does not excuse the way I handled the situation back then. The way I tried to end this back then was not right at all. I realized that now we should have had a proper conversation and closure that had been worked towards. Before I turned 18, we flirted through text on several occasions, and that happened all the way up until 4 months after I turned 18. One day in February, my birthday's in October, I can remember us actively sexting. Obviously, this was wrong. I had realized this since the day after I decided to cut off our relationship. When I tried to end it off and explain that the situation wasn't right, their concern was that I led them on. Obviously, I don't have the screenshots or logs of anything because it was over Snapchat. But the claim of them being upset for me leading them on is true and valid. This is proven by the video that was posted here. The video link is the phone call by one of the victim's associates or themselves. In this video, the victim claims that they are upset because I led them on. There are other things I talked about in the video that will be addressed further down in this tweet longer. This video takes place after I blocked them on everything. When I decided to end the relationship, we obviously had the back and forth, but I had already decided what I was going to do. What I decided to do was block every single social media that they have and just move on, and that was not right at all. When I blocked them, I had already realized the situation I was getting myself into, and they weren't understanding why I felt this was wrong. So out of fear, I recognized that was wrong, and I apologize for that. That was an immature way of handling the situation, and I've since learned better. As for the claim that I got people to message her current boyfriend and herself, this is 100% not true. I have never come in contact with her boyfriend and I do not know who they are. I have never sent anyone to talk to this person either. I do not know where this claim comes from, but this is not true. I do not vocalize or imply for people to attack anyone. I would also like to clarify that there are people who are coming to them claiming that sexting isn't true or wrong, and I never pretended that I didn't do this. I owned up to this. I was also accused of taking back what I said, but this is also not true. Of what I owned up to and take none of that back. If anyone says that I am, they are just lying. I was the one who had to clarify and relay details that were not brought up in the first place. This was not to make myself look better, but to give people more context on the story on my side. He ends up linking the Google Drive, which I'll also put in the description. It's the same one I mentioned earlier. But yeah, mostly what the Google Drive provides shows that I was with this person. For anyone to think I am, that is just wrong. As for the deleted messages, I referenced back to the statement that I made earlier saying when I blocked them, I had already realized the situation I was getting myself into, and they weren't understanding why I felt this was wrong, so out of fear, I did that. And for some reason, that's why I deleted the messages. I could say that those messages were words of affirmation and just positive messages towards them, but they were deleted and they were not the smart thing to do. I just wanted to forget the situation entirely, but this is not the way to do it. As for additional info, I'm going to address each point. The first point expresses that we started talking when they were 13 and I was 17. We started hanging out when they were 14 and I was 18. The point of addressing this comment was because it had the implication that I went after someone who was 13 because they were 13, while being an 18-year-old, which was not the case. We were aware of each other and officially started speaking to each other when we were 13 and 17. All I was accused of happened when they were 14. He puts an image of a TikTok comment, which I don't know what this proves. It's just showing someone saying that he went after someone. Now, time for the biggest reveal. It's a shocker, everybody. As for the specifics of the sexting and the romantic stuff I listed, it is all true. I never denied that I talked to this person sexually and romantically, and I fully denounce all of this. None of it was okay. As for the phone conversation reference to the additional info, I will go in depth about that right now. Previously, I mentioned a phone conversation between me and the victim's associates. I would 100% admit that this way the conversation was handled not good at all. This phone conversation happened about a month after I decided to block her and disconnect from her. This phone conversation shows how my mood was in the situation. I was not professional, and it showcases my frustration and fear in the call, due to me denying the claims of being into them at the time, and also for them to be bothered my time when I wanted to move forward from the situation. I recognize that this is not the way to go about this situation. I should have talked to them in the first place so this conversation wouldn't have happened. In the additional info, they claimed I called her friend the N-word and a black bitch. The moment they were referring to me with the accusation is not true. Wait. Run that back. Run back that phone call. Hold on.
So tell me who you are.
My name's Tiffany.
Tiffany?
Do you have a problem? Like I said again, do you have a problem?
You talk a lot of shit for a nigga named Tiffany. Dude, you fucking black ass chick.
Towards the end of the conversation, I did, however, say black ass chick, and for that, I apologize. I know that was not right to say. It just wasn't, and I obviously know better. The conversation got heated, combined with them joking around with the person in question calling me the F-slur. I know that this is not an excuse, but the situation got really tense and I fucked up. I've since then never said anything derogatory in that manner towards anyone. Now, to clarify, the way in which the N-word was used is not derogatory at all. If you know me at all, you know this was just part of my vocabulary, never in a hateful way. It wasn't said because this person was black. This is just how I speak. Even after saying it, I tried to refrain from using it in that phone conversation because they clearly did not want me in the They clearly did not want me to what is this wording? God. They clearly did not want me to in the conversation with them. The way I acted was insensitive and dismissive and clearly showed my lack of understanding when it came to their feelings. That I apologize for. I definitely handled that very differently, and now I own up. It has also come to my attention that there's been a video made about the allegations, and I will also talk about this. One of the first claims that I said was being harassed by their family. I did not say this. On screen when this claim is being stated, you can clearly see that I said, now shortly after they called my phone number as I forgot they had it. Them, their friend, and their sister were on the line. Now this was true and what I actually said. Now for clarification, it is true that I was aware of this person that they were 13 and I was 17, but I stated earlier we started to hang out when they were 14. So to correct it more accurately, we did start when they were 13. But at this time, they were friends and showed general interest in each other. The video also states that I wanted to wait until they were 16 to date because of the Romeo and Juliet law. This was not the case, as I was not thinking about the legality, I was thinking about the morality, which I explained earlier I grew to understand was wrong. They also bring up the accusation through my pants on video, but like I said in the last tweet longer, I stated this includes nothing sexual and just a video of me being goofy.
What?
It's just me showing my legs fully clothed. It's also stated that my parents didn't think that we were together, but this is not the case. Their approval from it, which seemed is why I thought it would be okay in the first place. They mentioned the cuddling, of which I spoke about, but also said I tried to make physical advances, which is not true at all. This video and the people associated with it pushes the idea that people believed me because I'm a grown adult and they're not. People believe me because I provided more than what they did originally. People had to ask them to elaborate on their claims in the first place in the video. It shows that they tried to claim that I am not white.
What?
Wait, back up. What kind of segue is it? Hold on. I don't understand why I have to make this clear, but I am not white. I and my family are very visibly Cuban. The reason why I'm laughing at this is because Cubans are on the whiter side of the spectrum when it comes to Latinos. They're very lighter. While I may be mixed, I know for a fact that Cubans are on the lighter side of the spectrum compared to the rest of Latinos. This doesn't really prove anything either way. The video also brings up that how I recently tried to reach out and apologize for how insensitive and dismissive I originally was back then. The video says that conversation was anticlimactic and ended with nothing, but what actually happened is while I tried to forward the conversation, they left me on red. I was trying to understand their feelings and apologize for making them feel this way, but they were vague and I just stopped responding. He later shows the text conversation I put on video a couple while ago and saying that he was left on red, and that's actually true. I'll put these screenshots that were not shown in the video on screen. This is the full conversation we had a day ago. The video points out that I said that I dated them because I was interested in them and not because they were a minor. For some reason, people are acting as if this statement means nothing. As stated earlier, the intent is the huge part of what makes it grooming. That's based on the definition, which is what they used. They purposely only showed that in the video and not owning up to how poorly I handled the situation. Just because I worded things weird in their eyes does not discredit my intentions in that conversation. I tried to reach out knowing it would be recorded, but there was no conclusion and that was not on my part. Alright, we're finally at the end of this. It was obviously apparent that the reason why these allegations surfaced was because people involved being afraid that I would endanger minors using my platform. I made a mistake and it's haunted me since the day I tried to end the relationship. I knew it was wrong and I tried to explain to the victim and everyone else publicly before. However, I stated my original intent was never to prey upon the victim, as people have accused me of. We both were in high school and I thought it was okay. It was not, but it was never predatory. Because of the situation, I have been doxxed, my full first name and last name in the town I live in, and harassing, specifically referring to the people who called my phone. I don't know how they got my number, but only a handful of people have it, and called me a straight up pedophile and groomer. Memes were made about the situation, tagged with pedo and groomer. hold on, let me see these. I've never done anything like this before!
Calm down, look, I'm not a cop. I'm not.
They got your ass on camera.
Niggas ain't got me in no fucking camera.
This is the clearest video I've ever seen. This is the most HD shit ever. This is 4K. How did they get you in 4K?
That ain't me.
In the terms of me being racist of the words I used, I lived my whole life in the streets of Tampa, and that's where I learned to talk the way I do. I think it's fair to say that someone who pretends that they know family origins and upbringing has no right to call me white or racist. Both of these claims ain't true. To the person who I caused so much harm, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I'm sorry. I have never should have treated you that way, and I hate that it had to come to this. All I can say is I'm sorry for everything. I have since become a better person and I've taken steps to do better. This includes stuff like I said before, 100% denouncing the sexting. I did not get with this person to intend to manipulate, abuse, or groom like I am being accused. Thank you for reading. Well, that certainly was a lot. Firstly, luckily this man actually admitted to everything except for the racist part. That doesn't really help out your case at all. Actually, that makes it a lot worse. And going back to what I said, that Cubans tend to be on the lighter side of the spectrum rather than just being outright brown. He apologized and he was doxxed. He's trying to save any grace he has left, really. And even then, he has no chance. He's basically admitted to everything. But guys, I was memed on. You gotta feel bad for me. Even then, he's still trying to justify himself with this really long twit longer, even though he admitted to everything. Him saying that he got doxxed and saying that he got memed on is kind of telling from how desperate he is trying to save face here. While the first tweet longer is actually pretty convincing and can make people skeptical of the situation, the second one makes it a lot worse. And even then, it still shows that he was waiting for her to turn 16. This got to the point where people involved with Chris and people who tended to collab with made their own statements regarding the situation. I'll be reading out the tweet longer that's related to the group channel he's active in. Hey, to preface, this is all co-written by Ethan, Rob, Jaleel, Ian, and Joel. These are the members that are involved with the group channel, and they co-signed this whole thing, basically. There really isn't anything for us to say on this matter. Chris did something terrible, we can't have him associated with our community anymore. From now on, Chris, aka Sillyrally, is no longer a part of the Down Bad Boys. Our condolences go out to the victim and anyone else involved. This statement comes after the rest of ours so everyone can make sure they know how we feel personally about it. This is the kind of response from us as a group. As for our channel, we haven't made any decisions. Our current content we have recorded all features Chris. We're not going to release that shit. So to the niggas that were there recording with us for Among Us, Crab Game, Gartic Phone, and others, that shit is scrapped. We are going on hiatus for the time being to see if 1, we want to keep going with the channel, 2, we want to keep it to us 5 members, and 3, if we want to add someone new that we know. Don't get any funny ideas. Nobody's picking you. Too soon. Anyways, if you want any updates, make sure to follow our account on Twitter. But probably more importantly, join our Discord, which will be linked in the original tweet's replies. Everyone have a good night. So yeah, to summarize, they're basically condemning all of his actions. That can also be summarized for the individual twitlongers posted from each member of the group. I'll be linking those in the description since I don't feel like reading all of those word for word, since they all hone in on the fact that they're condemning his actions. Overall, the situation could have been handled a lot better, but it wasn't handled horribly compared to other situations I can think off the top of my head. Either way, Chris should not be welcomed back into the community, unless he has the ability to tell everything that this is fake. But there has to be some damning evidence to prove that. But anyways, I'm gonna go now. This video is already really long enough. I'll be linking everything that I said earlier in the description below. Please check out some of the stuff that I linked that is important to the situation. And yeah, this has been me, Mario. I'm gonna see y'all a month or two, I don't know. And peace.